FFA, the most real-world accurate way to play Age of Empires 4.
You sure about that?
It's a chaotic mess of fun. So, in this list, we're going to give you the definitive way of which civs are best and which civs suck. And you can take this list and proceed to become an FFA king and defeat Corvinus in any matchup.
Right.
Now, you might be saying, Borology, what makes you such an expert in FFA? It's because, as a certified Bronze 1 player, I am one of the best FFA players of all time. I rarely lose, except for when my villagers die to the boar, but in general, I rarely lose and am just an absolute GOAT at FFA. Very few pro players can beat me. I do not know why Aussie Drongo has not invited me to the next Outback Octagon series, because I'm a top 3 easy player. Now, let's jump right into the list, and all you doubters can shut up.
Daddy, chill.
All right, baby. We're going to start with Lancaster. So this one's interesting because I really haven't messed with Lancaster much in FFA, but I've seen a lot of games with Lancaster in FFA, and I would definitely say they are middle of the road. So we're going to put them in B because if you can get a mana boom, they're pretty good. And if you can get a mana boom into a hobbler span and no one kills you while you're booming those manners, that could be really powerful. However, that does rely on you being able to get that mana boom. And as we see compared to another civ is going to be able to do it faster and with better units, typically faster. It depends. Again, FFA is crazy. It's a chaotic disaster land. So who knows what your spawn is? Who knows the speed of things? Lancaster, depending on your spawn, could be S tier. But typically, I would say Lancaster is middle of the road. Now, I do want to try Lancaster out more. Maybe they go up to A tier, but for now, I'm going to say B tier for sure. Okay, Bruce. I'm gonna be honest, I do not like Roost and FFA. The only thing good about them, in my opinion, is the fact that you can basically get your hunting cabins everywhere, get your scouts out early, get a lot of sheep, have a good start. So with that, if you take him and go fast castle and a minute arms with that kind of nicer start, decent, you can go 3 TC and try to boom if you're in a corner. Their Imperial is obviously goated because of Streltsy, or just Imperial Knights are really good for Roost. But the thing is, you can't rely on that to actually win the game. And what you're going to see in this list is that this either relies on a civ that's able to boom up pretty good and then get quick kills, or boom up big and powerful if they have a good spawn and basically just wipe the map. So Bruce, it's got a decent boom and it's got a decent kill. But really, it's not even that decent. And I'm biased against Roost because screw the Russians. So I'm going to put it in C tier. Boom. Okay. Maulians. So this one might be debatable. And I don't care. I'm shameless. I do not care. But Maulian, in my experience, as the Maulian Snipe Lord himself, is goated. And I mean, if played right, can be really good. And here is the simple reason why. In FFA, you usually have enough time, unless you're right next to somebody. I'd say the only time Maulian is straight up bad, or maybe B tier, is if you spawn right next to somebody. But if you spawn about, just typical normal neighbor length distance, you will be able to boom, unless they like super early feudal ram rush you, which is super rare in FFA and a terrible strategy, honestly, because if you do that, you're going to be really behind, so it's rarely done anymore. So typically, you're going to have a small period of time to boom. Maulians can get your cow boom and fast castle and have just a massive amount of resources to pour into usually just mass Sofa, but you could also go mass Musafati warriors or mix in archers if your enemy has a million spears. Regardless, I can outboom. I've spawned right next to a China, Juicy Legacy, right next to all kinds of civs. You can outboom them faster and just spam units. Now, sometimes it takes longer to kill, but a lot of times you could snipe people. And then after you get that first kill, you can snipe the next person because you got a whole bunch of usually Sofa. I used to do Musafati warriors. You can get a massive crap amount of Musafati warriors if you do this build. But Sofa tank a lot better, so I've been doing more Sofa. Regardless, this civ, you can get 2 kills in castle like that if you play right. And then after that, you build a keep, you stonewalled in, you build a second TC, you boom up, get to Imperial Age, you got 300 supply, you don't. In FFA, guys, everybody remember, unless you're Corvinus or some other crazy goat that does crazy stuff, once you get 300 supply, don't keep attacking people unless you have a very good reason to. Go back to your base, stonewall keep in, build up your economy, get to Imp, get all the upgrades. Then you can go to try to actually win the game. But 300 supply will win you the game if you can survive till Imperial after getting 2 kills. So really, in my opinion, master in FFA, get 2 kills, and then go to Imp. And Maulians is absolutely amazing at that. Now, again, I want to try Lancaster out more because I have a feeling they might be able to too if you can get enough hobbler span. But the Maulian boom is faster and definitely more powerful. I'd have to compare the exact speeds, but it's definitely more powerful as far as what units you can produce than the Lancaster boom. All right, the French civs. So, I know some FFA players who are pretty good at French and FFA. Guess what? To win French with FFA, to win with French and FFA, you have to either get a good spawn or your enemy is just an idiot, right? Or you're just like an amazing player and you can just kind of win them by raiding and stuff. Yeah, that's fine. You can raid them into castle. They're decent, I guess. Well, before we even get to French, I mean, let's do JD. JD is obvious. Steaming pile of freaking garbage. This civ sucks. This civ sucks everywhere. Why? Because French is straight up better. Boom. End of story. Doesn't matter. Also, JD in like Imperial Age, like in FFA, is just like dog water. So that's garbage. French, I would personally put right below Rus. I might be wrong about these night civs, but in my opinion, you're not able to get enough units to actually kill somebody. So you might say, well, hey, I can just raid them into the ground and then they quit. Well, if they quit, right, if you keep raiding them and they quit, they're good. But in this list, we here at Borology do not rely on luck and hoping your opponent quits. Guess why? Because a lot of times in FFA, they don't quit, and they'll stay to their very last villager. Unless you get lucky and they just quit immediately, that would be awesome. But in most cases, a lot of cases, they do not quit. And because of that, we are not relying on your raiding skills. We are relying on your killing skills. French is not a you're dead civ in most cases, unless you ram rush, which again is not very good in FFA because you'll be so far behind. Now, I did play one FFA when I was Malians, and there was a guy in there who was French, and guess what? He was French and his neighbors did literally nothing. No war. They let him get 2 or 3 TCs, get keeps, get all of his units cheaper, get to Imperial. Then French is invincible. Like, it's just broken because you have Red Palace and all these different things. In fact, I might put French above Rus. I am going to put French above Rus because if you get to Imp, I actually think French is better than Rus just because of the Red Palace and cheaper units from producing around keeps. So yeah, I'm going to put it, you might be able to make an argument for bottom of B tier, but I'm going to keep it top of C tier for now because I'm biased and I don't think it's that good. I think players that win with French consistently, or not consistently, you don't win with French consistently, but win with French are typically getting good spawns or just, you know, silver tier neighbors. Okay, China civs.
China. 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 China.
China. So, unfortunately, at the very least, these civs are A tier. Honestly, I think they got to go S tier, man. I really hate to say it, but the thing is, they have so many different unit comps they can go for. They can go fast castle, mass knight. They can go even better, mass men at arms. They can get farms out really cheap, really fast. This one produces more villager. I would honestly say Jushi is better. Just because they can get the farms out and TCs out faster, they can do really good boom, but they can really easily go 2 TC boom into fast castle and be totally safe and be able to get out a lot of men-at-arms. They just have a good economy. Man, China's just broken. I hate playing against China. You get a bunch of landmarks. If you get to Imp, their Imp's really strong. Very difficult or impossible to snipe landmarks if the king's stonewalled in. So, yeah, I mean, China's just absolutely busted, dude. Like, I'm sick. I'm really sick of China. I really am sick of China. Maybe they're not S tier. I don't know. They could be A tier. Yeah, I don't know, man. It could be A tier, but I don't know. I hate China. Screw China. China messes up games. Bad for China. Okay, Byzantine. So, in my single-player tier list, I put Byzantine top of S tier, baby. So, in 1v1, I personally think, unless you're able to get a good setup and spam those Varangian Guard, I think this civ sucks. I think Byzantine sucks in FFA. Like, I would never choose Byzantine in FFA. Again, I've watched games by, like, Corvinus, and this guy somehow gets 2 TC, stonewalls the whole basin, gets a bunch of aqueducts, a bunch of farms, gets to castle or even Imperial before he even gets attacked. Do not count on this in your FFA. Corvinus plays a lot of FFA games. People like Corvinus do. And so when you see spawns like that, you're like, yeah, this rocks because now Byzantine has a sick army. Guess what? No, it doesn't. He got lucky. Doesn't matter what he claims. Doesn't matter if he claims he's the GOAT in that game. I mean, he is the GOAT, let's be honest. But he got lucky. You're not going to get that much time typically in Byzantines. And let's say you're playing Biz and I'm playing Mali. You are screwed unless you feudal rush me. Like, you are screwed. Super, super screwed. So, yeah, unless you feudal rush with this civ, which, to be fair, it is really good feudal rush. But, yeah, it ain't it, man. I think it sucks. I think it's terrible in FFA. And talking of terrible in FFA, what the actual garbage? Ayubit is trash. And here's why. Abbasid can boom faster, easier. Ayubit has better units, but unless, again, you're getting lucky and you can just boom, 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 it just sucks. Also, they have 2 landmarks, which is obviously not good. But in general, Ayubit is just not a good civ. I saw one point a while back, Beastie was, this was probably months ago, but Beastie was playing FFAs and he kept playing Ayubit over and over again. I'm pretty sure he lost every single game. Maybe he won one, but he was getting just destroyed. Now, to be fair, like, it's basically 7v1 when Beastie Cutie plays an FFA. And if Dinto's in there, then it's like an 8v1 because that guy just beelines him in Dark Age. He like sends all of his villagers and start fighting him. So, you know, in all defense of Beastie, it's not necessarily because Ayubit sucks. But Ayubit does in fact suck. And that comes from someone who loves Ayubit, just not in FFA. It sucks. Steaming pile of garbage. Good old Japanese. So, I personally think Japanese is S tier. Now, I don't think I can put it above these civs, but because listen, they can't boom as hard as fast. But first of all, their units are straight up better. Like, no one's debating that. Their knights are better. Their samurai is way better than the palace. Palace guard are better at sniping, but samurai are better at actual combat, especially against other, infantry. So overall, and if you go to the monk strategy, that's also really good in FFA if you're able to pull it off. Now, I will say the lots of monk strategy is only good if you're isolated in FFA. Like, you see people do this, it's like, that's awesome. Well, guess what? It's because everyone in there in that lobby is an idiot. If I was Malian and I was within 10 meters of you, or not 10 meters, across the map, anywhere close to you, you're dead. But overall, I'm actually gonna put for now, I'm gonna mix it up a little. I'm gonna make it spicy, very spicy. And I'm going to put it between the China civs because I'm biased. I think Juicy's straight up better. I really do. I think their Imperial is better. I think they have better technologies. I think overall they have, well, their units I'd say are about the same. The only thing better about China is hand cannoneers. But hand cannoneers are not that good in FFA. So, yeah, I'm going to put Japan. Yeah, it might. No, I'm going to keep Juicy at top for now. But Japan has better units. It can get 2 TC pretty quickly. Or it can go even 1 TC and just get a lot of food from the farms around the main TC. And most importantly, it can just spam barracks. I mean, get 1 million barracks and have 1 million infantry. It can also spam, what are the fast swinging sword guys are called? The Anabugeisha? No, that's not it. The Anamusha? The Anabugeisha? I don't know. All the names in Japanese sound the same. It's Boulder Dash. Anyway, I think Japanese is really, really good. Okay, Delhi. I think the only real way to play Delhi is fast imp. Like, that's the only way to really win a game. If you can get fast imp Delhi, really, really good. But again, that relies on a lot of things, like having a spawn where someone doesn't snipe you. And for that reason, top of C tier at the best. I'm going to put it top of C tier because I personally think if you can get fast imp and either landmark, which I'm going to do a landmark tier list, by the way. And listen, the Imperial Delhi landmarks are some of the best Imperial landmarks in the game, hands freaking down. But if you can get fast imp with Delhi in a FFA or 2v2v2 for that matter with Kings, it's really, really good. It's really, really good. In fact, it's probably better in 2v2v2 because that way your opponent can help protect you or your teammate can. But really, really good. Okay, Knights Templar. Now, everyone says Knights Templar is the best in FFA. Here's the problem with that theory. It is the best in FFA, but your start of the game, I would say the start of the game through Castle, essentially, is not the best. Yes, if you can get 3 TCs or 2 TCs, maybe a couple keeps, and start spamming the axe throwers, and then you get to Imperial and get Teutonic Knights, you can get Spearmen and Castle. Yes, they're really good, like really, really good. Get lots of farms easy. Your guys can chop wood everywhere, but are they the best? I'm gonna be honest. It'd be like tied between these 3. This is a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. Thing is, they can get their second TC out fast, and because this is a safer game, if they're able to get a keep out, they're gonna be somewhat safer from Malians, a little harder to snipe. Here's my dilemma. This Civ straight up better than Malians, but Malians will kill Knights Templar. It will. Here's the funny thing. Civs like Malians in Castle Age will kill Knights Templar. There's no debate unless they are prepared with a keep and have heavy spearmen ready, right? If they were able to go straight up to Castle, maybe a super quick second TC, but then straight up to Castle, get a keep, get heavy spearmen, then they might be able to beat Malians. But if Malians went Musafati warriors, maybe not, so it's really tough to say. I think overall, though, because we're taking in consideration Castle, Feudal, Imperial, I would say Knights Templar is up there with, is it number 1? That's a tough one, man. That is a tough one. You know what? I'm mixing it up, Chief. I think Japan's better than Juicy. I really do. I think both these cities are better. In fact, I'm going to be spicy. Screw it. I'm going to be spicy. You know why? Because Malian's next to Juicy, Malian beats Juicy. Now, in Imperial, Malian's pretty good too. I have won Malian games against Knights Templar, against Juicy, against China a bunch of times. So I'm actually going to keep it like that. We're going to keep it spicy. We're going to make it spicy. Deal with it. Deal with it. That's right. The boar. So the boar is actually completely broken in FFA, like straight up. I have lost more, I mean, it's at least A tier. But the thing is, I've lost more villagers to the boar in FFA than any game. Because you send 8 villagers to a boar and you forget about him. And when you look back, he's killed half of them. So it's completely broken. I hate the boar. The boar is broken. You know what? He's going to go top of S tier for sure. Yeah, he's top. He's, okay, yeah, he's top S tier. Okay. Abbasid. I'm going to put it bottom of D tier just because at least it can boom fast. So if you're able to get in the corner and boom really fast, you're fine. But otherwise, screw Abbasid. Abbasid sucks. You know what else sucks? Ottomans. Ottomans suck. steaming pile of garbage. Now, again, if you're able to boom and do really good, they're really, really broken in Imperial Age. And Sipahi are really good. But I'm talking about spamming units, and their military schools just suck in FFA, man, because the whole point is to get a lot of production building and spam units. So having those military schools don't even pay off. So yeah, this civ sucks, dude. In fact, screw Ottomans. Ottomans is going, okay, nothing's lower than Jade. Everybody hates J freaking D. But Ottomans sucks. It really sucks. Okay, English, I mean, it's a good civ. Like, I'm going to put it B tier because it's a good civ, but you know, it's like I don't like it. It's just really good at defending itself. It can do minute arms rush maybe, but yeah, you know what, screw English. Put English bottom of C tier. Okay, I'm actually gonna put OOTD at top of B tier. If they get to imp and they get kills, OTD is broken. Actually, you know what, I'm putting OTD A tier. Listen, I hate OOTD. Order of the Dragon sucks, but in FFA you can get to castle, you can go that Burgrave and just get the units out faster. It's actually can make pretty good kills. Villagers are better. If you get to imp, it's really, really broken with hand cannoneers. So I still hate it though. Top of B tier. Screw it. I hate OTD. Okay, Mongols is interesting. I think Mongols is really good. It's going to be our first A tier. In fact, maybe our only A tier. I think it's really good if played really well. It is one of the harder civs to play in FFA and survive, but if you can get 2 or 3 TCs or go fast Imperial, both are good options, and just spam out either Cav or Mangadai, actually also really good in this civ. And actually, Mangadai is also broken, once again, in FFA, if you get into Imperial. Because you spam FFA, it's really, really hard to kill them in a map that huge, which is crazy broken. And then you can just make some knights to actually burn the TCs, and you burn faster. So Mongols, actually, Mongols might be S tier. Man, should I move China's down? I feel like China's are broken, but Mongols, no, man, Mongols has got to be S tier. In fact, I got to put Mongols over, I'm putting Malians over Mongols. Because, again, I will kill you with Malians. If you're Mongols and I'm Malians, you're dead. You're 100% freaking dead. You know what? Screw China. Screw China. You know what? I'm going to be spicy. We're going to put China in A tier. We're going to keep Juicy in S tier. Okay. HRE. This one's interesting. I think I'm going to have to put HRE in S tier. And here's why. Man, I got a lot of S tiers, but there's a lot of good sits. Man, people are going to really hate me for putting Mali in S tier. But I really think if you play it right, it's S tier. Is HRE or Juicy better? Should Juicy be right here? Because the thing, not only is HRE really hard to kill, if they can get to Imperial really fast, they have a crazy imp boom. And you can do it safely because you can get to Imperial, get one cannon emplacement out, and you're actually safe. If any of these other civs go just straight fast imp, they probably die. HRE may not die unless Malian goes for them and then they're screwed. You know what? I'm putting China's in A tier because I think these civs are better. Here's why. This civ is just so versatile, can just do so much. It's so good. Japan, spam out 1,000,000 infantry. I'm actually going to put Japan lower than HRE though. HRE, super hard to kill. You can go fast castle and to spamming men at arms. You get the relics usually first. It's just really, really good. Malian, the absolute snipe god. Mongols is broken in Imperial, and it doesn't have to build houses. It can move its landmarks, move its buildings. Just really versatile in FFA. So yeah. Yeah, I'm sticking with that. Listen. If you disagree, hate me, fight me, doesn't matter. This is the definitive FFA Age of Empires 4 tier list. Listen, if you want to go out there, become MFFA King, beat Corvinus, I would highly recommend, you know what? I'm gonna be spicy. I'm actually moving Knights Templar down, and here's why. I think, other than the boar, which is broken, I think to win more FFA games, you play HRE, you play Japan, you play Mali. I'm gonna be super spicy. I'm gonna do it, bro. I'm gonna be spicy. Boom. Deal with it. Fight me. I don't care. I'm gonna be spicy. We're gonna put, you know what? I don't know, man. Deal with it. Deal with it. Malian, S tier.
Really?
S tier. Because again, you get 300 pop, then you get to imp, you're clean, you're smooth, you've got the game. And I have never once yet, I lose plenty of games, don't get me wrong, but I've never once yet lost a game because my neighbor or the closest guy to me was able to outboom or outkill me with Malian. Not once. Not once that I can remember, except for once where it was like he was literally right next to me, and so we had to do feudal fighting, and he just outplayed me. But if you're normal distance, it's really freaking hard to beat Malian. I can kill multiple neighbors before they can even get to me with Malian. It is just, I think Malian's the GOAT. I really do. It's not the GOAT in Imperial. These civs right here are definitely, these civs are also the GOAT in Imperial, but these civs are between Imperial and overall the GOAT. I'm going to put Knights Templar above Japanese, I guess. But you listen, you want to beat some Corvinus? Play some Malians, baby. Pull the boar on Corvinus. He's got no freaking chance. You've got that game, no problem. But anyway, get out there, win some FFA games, become an FFA king, become the next Corvinus, and most importantly, have some fun and don't lose too many villagers to that boar.